Hello everyone, welcome back to my Create MERN Stack series from scratch, and today we are going to create user registration form in our React application. Let me show you what actually we are going to build today. Okay, this is the form we are going to build. So this is pretty long form, but the cool stuff here is that the password that we are going to force user to type something that we need in our password. So let me show you how it works. So let me fill up the form. So on the side, I am opening the React dev tool. As I go through the form, you can see the values updated here. So I'm just gonna fill up quickly and then get back to you. Okay, in here password. So when I'm typing the passwords, have a look here. So basically now we are getting message saying that password doesn't match. Minimum character, it require at least one uppercase, lowercase, one number, and the special character, one of these ones. So we need to force client to type this one in order for this submit button to be active. So now you can see the button is disabled. Keep your eye on the button as well. So it will turn in enable as soon as all the error is gone, and you can see what I'm typing here. Okay. So I'm gonna just type random. So we have at least one character, lowercase, yeah, let me type the uppercase, yep, and let me type a number. Okay, number is done, and let's type one of the special character as. Now you can see my password has the lowercase, uppercase, number, and the special character, but not 8 character yet. Let me make it 8. Okay, they all pass, but button is still disabled because the password does not match yet. So I don't know what I type here. So let me copy this and paste it here. So the password doesn't match, is gone, button is enabled. But if I type something else, so it does not match and it's disabled. Let's get back to the correct password. And if I submit the form, if we go to our console, that there is the user data. There you go. That's what we are going to work today. Hey, if you are here for the first time and if you don't know me, my name is Prem Acharya from Dented Code. I create tutorials related to full stack web development, and if you are interested in that, please subscribe the channel, turn on all the notifications, and if you like this tutorial, please don't forget to give me some thummy. Okay, without saying, let's jump into the computer and do some coding. Okay everyone, so here's my front-end application in this folder. So I'm just gonna open in VS Code. So I'm gonna use VS Code code editor to write the application. Actually, I'm using VS Code for writing a whole project. So let's run the application first. Simply say npm start. Okay, our application is loading here now. I'm just gonna put side by side so that we can do the coding and we can see the changes. Meanwhile, let's open the app.js file. So app.js is the entry file of our application. So just leave it open for now. Okay, our application is up now. As you can see, like our entry page, first page of the application is the login form. So now we need to create the registration page. So there is nothing on our registration page. So that's what we're going to create, and we're going to sort of follow up same layout where we have like this blue kind of greenish background and then the floated box for the registration form. So we're gonna get some inspiration from this space so that we can speed up our typing. Okay, so first thing we need to do is create the route so that we can load the registration page. So this is the entry page which is currently loading here. We are in the app.js. So we are using React Router DOM to handle our router. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy this and I'm gonna say the path is the registration. And we haven't created the registration page that we're going to create, but I'm gonna say registration here first. And I'm not going to save this file yet, but we go to the folder called pages. Here I'm going to create a folder called registration, and inside the folder, okay, registration. And inside the folder, I'm going to create a file called registration.page.js. So this is the page. So I'm going to call React arrow function here, export. So here I'm going to say just the registration. We don't need registration page. And here I'm just going to say I am registration page. So I'm going to save that, and let's import this page in our app.js file here. where we have already put registration here. So I'm going to go up here. Okay, we are importing all the other pages as a name import, so we do the same thing. Just go under the entry, import. It's from the page directories, pages / registration / registration.page, and this is the name import. So we need to make some changes. So go to the registration page. Instead of making it default export, just say inline export here. Now save that. Now we should load that page when we go to the registration URL. See, now you can see I'm the registration page here. Right, so let's first put the background. I want to put the background for it. So in our entry page, let's put side by side. Okay, we are calling the Jumbotron. So this is the component that is provided by the React-Bootstrap. That's the component UI library we are using. Okay, so here I'm gonna do the same thing. So let's, instead of just saying that, let's call Jumbotron. And we need to make sure we import from here, but my ID automatically importing it. So just close that, and inside there we need to have the text for now. And on our div, I'm going to give class name registration page, and let's give that kind of blue greenish background. So this is the utility class come from the Bootstrap page info. Yeah, that's probably should give us that layout kind of background. Yeah, I can see that there is. So what we're going to do to make this page in the middle, so I'm going to create a CSS file here. registration.style.css, and I'm gonna copy from our entry CSS this one, because I'll tell you what's going on here anyway. So we are calling our class here. If you remember, we call our registration-page page class name. I'm gonna use that class name here and provide the vertical height. We don't need the, okay, we keep vertical height for now. And then we are providing flex container, because, okay, make sure to put the dot there, because we want to make the form in the right in the center. So justify content, we'll put the form inside this class, whatever element in there, in the center in x-axis, and then the align item will center the item in y-axis. And form box, we'll put this one is the shadow around the box. I'll show you that in a second. Let's go back to our registration page, and yeah, here for the Jumbotron, let's provide the class name as well, the form box class. So this is basically this the box shadow property here. Now we need to import this style sheet in our component here. So since it's in the same page, we can say, so same folder, we can say // and registration.style.css. Yeah, I think that's the file name. Yeah, if you save that, here you go, you can see the changes now. The background, we got the background, and we got the form center in our page. Center in our page vertically, horizontally. Okay, now we're going to create a actual different component for the actual form, and where we will have all our input and submit button and all the forms element. So to do that, okay, before doing that, so if we are to come to our home page, there is no link we can go to the registration page. We have to go through the URL, so that's not enough. So let's put the link here so that we can click and go to the registration page. All right, so let's go to our login component, that one. So Control P to search everything from the file structure. So I'm gonna say entry, actually entry page, that one. Inside the entry page, I think we are calling a form called login form. Inside the login form, we have that forget password, so we want to write just below that. So let's copy this row. First thing, I want to provide a utility class called py padding in y-axis by full. That's the utility class from the Bootstrap. And we're going to put here, say, you new here, and then I'm gonna put some space, otherwise it will put whatever we are writing here and this text next to each other. So this one is just putting one space between the text like this. So here I'm gonna say register now, and we don't need on click event at the moment. We don't need that, but we need to go to our registration page, right? Okay, just save that. So we should have this ready. Okay, there you go. Now you can see, are you new here? Yeah, you can see that too. Register now. So if I click on this page, now we are taken to the registration page. So now what we're going to do is create an actual form. So let's go to our component folder. Here, how we are doing login form like this, which we have already seen here. So similarly, we are going to create a form in our component folder. I'm gonna say registration form, and inside that folder, let's create registration form as well. I'm gonna say comp.js. That's the component. So here I'm gonna do again a React arrow functional component. Here I'm going to just say registration form, and this is I am a form. Save that. Now we need to import this one in our page inside the registration page. So import that here. So it's inside the component. So we need to go to two-step I up through the folder and go to the components. Oops. And inside the component we have registration form. Inside the registration form we have registration component, and let's call that actually I want to do it default, this one, registration form. Yeah, so I want to make sure this one is the export default in this file here. Yeah, not like that. I want to do export default. So export default and the component name. Now we can import like that, and inside here, instead of this text, now we're going to replace it by this component. Okay. So we are kind of done in the registration page. So now you can see I am a form. Let's close that for now, and we need to work on our form, building up a form. So when we build up the form, we are going to use React-Bootstrap component library. So let me show you. So this is what we are going to use, components. And if you go to the form, so this is what we are going to use. So I'm just gonna copy the whole thing, and I'll show you exactly how we can use it. Just copy this one just to save the typing. Let's copy that, and in our, let me make it bigger here. I don't need entry page here. I just want to put the login component on the side just to see the class name that we might need it. Okay, so in our registration form inside here, I'm going to first use the container. Let's use the container from the again the React-Bootstrap. If I hit enter, as you can see, this one is imported from React-Bootstrap. And okay, and we also gonna need row, and we also gonna need column. Okay, so we need to make sure that we import row and column here. Okay, now in here we can provide the text saying in h1 user registration. That's like a heading on the top of the form, and I like to provide hr, the horizontal line, just to separate the form and the text on the top. And now let's create the another row. I'm just gonna copy this and go one step down. Yeah, and here actually we are going to put the form itself. So I'm gonna do like that, and the one we just copied from our browser here. So I'm just gonna paste here, and we will go through them again. Okay, save the file, and you can see the form, and they are under the red, underlined by the red line. So basically now we need to import them here because they are not defined yet. So we are using form, we are going to use button, we need to import the button too. Okay, save that. So here basically we are declaring form, and inside the form group, this is like a form group is like a sets of text, input field, and any message you want to put, like so. So let me show you in a live. Yeah, this is the user registration form. This level is from form level here, and form control type email is here, and the form text is here. So in our case we don't need this one here. I'm just gonna remove that. And yeah, we're going to need password, but we don't need the check me out. I'm going to remove that as well, like that, and save. Okay, now let's build a few more forms that we need. So sorry, few more inputs that we're gonna need is for our user. So we're going to need 6 different input fields here. So let me copy them first. So we got 1, 2, let's make 4 more. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first one is email. No, not email. So I'm gonna say full name, and type is text, and here I'm gonna say your name. That's the placeholder. As I type here, I'm gonna save the file so that you can see the changes here as well. And after that, I'm gonna need the company name. I'm gonna say I don't need this ID, control ID. I'm gonna select all of them and delete them. There you go. Okay, we got full name, we got email address. Yeah, email, type email. Okay, so we need the company name, type text, and the placeholder, company name. And after that, I need the address, just in type text again, and the placeholder, I'm gonna say full address. So, and I'm gonna need phone number as well, say phone. And so here in the type, this time we're going to use number, so that client only can put number. Phone, actually I want to put phone number before the email address. Yeah. Okay, we got name, we got phone, we got email, we got company name, and we got address, and we got password. So, and we also need the confirm password, right? So that client provides the correct password, matching password. We don't need this to delete that. And in the second one, let's say confirm password, and type password, yes, and the placeholder, confirm password. There you go, our form is ready, but it's touching on the top. I don't like it. Let's put some margin on the top. So let's go to our registration page where we are calling this actual form. So let's go to registration page here, and I want to, let's wrap this jumbotron within another class which has margin top, another div which has margin top 5, and I'm going to wrap it up, that jumbotron. Okay, now I think we need to go to the style sheet of this one and remove this vertical height 100, otherwise it's gonna keep touching there. Okay, yeah, that will do for now. When we load, we have a little bit space. Okay, I want to change the text of this user registration. So let's go to our registration component here and give the class name text info. So our form, there you go guys, not yet. So I want to put some condition, like if you have recently registered any form, you have seen like a number of limitation password is required, put minimum X amount of lowercase, uppercase, character, blah blah blah. Let's put that thing here somewhere. So let's go, I'm gonna close the side one. So let's go, before the confirm password here, I'm going to create a UL list, and I think let's put 5 li. I don't know how many we're gonna need it. I'm gonna say 5 for now, times 5. Okay, so I'm going to need main, let's say 8 characters, characters and at least one uppercase, at least one lowercase. I don't like this capital here. One lowercase, and I want at least one number as well. At least one number, and at least one of the special character. So I'm just gonna put some random characters here. Okay, one of these character. When I save that, and you know what gonna happen? Yeah, okay, yeah, we got that. Okay, I'm just gonna put again utility class called py4 so that they are not too close to the adjacent elements. Actually no, margin button 4. I want close to the confirm password here, but okay. So, and here what I want to do is I want to provide the class name to all of this list, and the class name is text danger. This is the utility class from Bootstrap again that makes everything red, so that means nothing has matched here. So when we will make a functionality which checks the condition of this password, whether all the condition is satisfied or not. Okay, basically our form is ready, guys. Our registration form is ready, just thumbs up UI. Now let's put every entry of this form in our local state, and we manage form data from local state. Okay, so let's go on the top of this page. I think I don't need this. Let's close that. Okay, here just right under the form declaration, sorry, the component declaration, we need to do a few things. Before that, we need to import something called useState, because now we are using local state. Okay, so useState, and when we use useState, now we can create a state that we can hold the form data. So go here and say useState, and this is how we have to use the state. So first the variable where you want to hold the data, and the function that help us to update the object of this state or the data of this state, and we have an option to provide initial state. So what we should be doing for the best practice is we should create the initial state. In our case, we're going to need few things. So in our initial state, what we're gonna do is provide, if you remember the name we have given here, or actually we have not given name to each field. Let's do that first. So name equals to, so you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to just keep copy of this one so I can use it later. So here this input field is name as a name because full name, and we need for the phone, we need, let's put phone as well. So this is how we going to access the input data of this input field through this name. Okay, name is important, and here we need email, and here we need company. I'm just gonna say company, and here we need address, and here we need password, and we need here the confirm password. Here you can give any name you like, so try to make that is meaningful according to the input field though. I'm gonna just say confirm pass. And now let's use these names as our initial state here. So we have a name which is initially empty string, and I'm just gonna make 5 more copy, I guess, because we're going to need all of them gonna be empty string at the initial state. So name, I'm gonna just look here and then just put it. Name, we have phone, we have email. If I can type and talk, that's my problem. And company, and address, and password, and we also need password confirm pass, right? Yeah. And now we can pass this initial state to this state here. So what we're gonna say here is the new user. You can name anything you like here because this is another like a variable. So I'm gonna say new user because this is the data for the new user. And I'm going to call the function name also set new user. And now we can access this value and pass on to our form, so that when we input the form, we can update our state with that value and then use that value and populate back in our field here. Otherwise, what happens when we type, we can't see. Let me do that. So let's use this state to access the value. So for our name, we need another attribute called here value, and I'm just gonna put, actually this is like that. I'm just gonna copy this one because I'm gonna again save some time typing. So here, so value.name, and similarly value.phone. Let me do quickly and I'll come back. So we have to do all like that, okay? In React, this is called controlled input field. So now we need to capture the value and then assign this value in our state. So let's do that again on each field. So let's go, let's create a function call first that will help us to capture the input value and put the value in the local state. So I'm gonna say const handle on change, and we will receive the event, and that's the error function. And inside the event, we will have two things, name and the value. So sorry, not in the inside. So inside dot target, we'll have that two value. So the name is this name here, and the value is whatever you type here. And what we're gonna do, so we can assign this value back to our state. So if I call this function called set new user, and inside the user, let's open up the object and let's spread out all the object here first using spread operator. So let's put all the value. So this way we are not mutating our state. So that's the main thing you need to remember. Try not to mute, basically never mutate the data directly, always make a copy of it. So that's the new user. So when we do this, it will spread everything what we have in our state, and plus we need to pass this name. So name, in our case, if we type in our name, so we need to pass name like so here and the value in there. So to get this name from the name, we need to pass inside the square bracket and the value. So if you just pass name only, it will not give the name and next time phone. So it will always keep name as a key of this object, key property. So we need to pass this one in the square bracket so that it will act as a variable here. Now save that, and I'm gonna console log here the state new user so that we can see that. And every time we have make some update here, to see back in our component here, we need to re-render the component. To do that, we need to use something called useEffect. Let's import that useEffect as well. And the way we use useEffect is just go under this declaration. So I'm gonna say to useEffect. So we don't need anything at the moment here. So just pass this variable of the user new object. So what happens is with the useEffect is that if useEffect finds any update in this variable, it will make this whole component re-render, and with that we can see the changes in our form every time we type or cut the text in the text field. Okay, so now let's call this function in our each input field. So in our control, under the value, I'm gonna say on click event. So this is one of the event, native event provided by the input field of the form. So on click event. So now we pass this function. So I'm just gonna put exactly same thing for every input, and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, save that. Okay, I mean it's not on click, sorry, this is on change event. So every time you input, you are changing the value in the info field. So this one almost supposed to be on change event, guys, sorry about that. On change, that's why we write function called handle on change. Okay, so let me show you how it works. Let's go to the console of this application. and go to the console here. And so if I reload the page, you'll see this already printing out the log. This is whole state. And now if I type anything, you'll see, let me clear the console. So let's type something in email. See that you are getting all state and there is something in name. Let me type in the company. Now there is something in our company as well. There you go. So that means they're all working fine. If you want to become better at React, so you probably want to download the React Dev tool. I mean, that is really handy tools. If you install React Dev tool, you have access to this component and profiler. So when you go to component and then go to the form, let's say I want to go to the registration form. Here in our state, you can see. So now if I want to see the phone, here is nothing. If I want to see type something in our phone, you'll get that value here as well. So this is your local state from the React. Okay, our form is done, our input field is done. So now we need to do is, let's work on this one. Make sure the password client puts are like a strong password, you know, cannot be hacked easily. All right, let's work on that, and then after that we will make this submit button work. So in our unhandled change, what we can do basically is that every time we input something in our input field, we check where this data coming from, which input field, and based on that we can create a new state variable which holds the error. So let me show you that one. So you can basically okay, let's do that way then. Let's create another initial state called pass verification, and inside this is object. So I'm not going to put anything at the moment here, just save that, and let's create another use state. Or I'm going to copy this, and instead of new user, I'm going to say new user error. So I'm going to say same thing, new user, sorry, not new user, password error. So yeah, I'm going to say set password error. And here I'm going to pass this password verification error actually, and pass here. So what we're going to do in our unhandled change, so if I'm going to check if the name equals to the password field. So what we're going to do, every time we enter the password, we're going to check all the condition, and if they are satisfied, we change them to green. If not, we leave it to the red. And later on, if they are still in red, make sure we disable the submit button. So for that, we need to define the condition here. So I'm gonna have let's put few property in this object so that we can access to that and change whether it is true or false, those conditions. So I'm gonna call for the minimum 8 character, I'm gonna say is lengthy, false. So everything going to be false for now. So I'm gonna have a is let's say is upper for the uppercase test and is lower for the lowercase test. Let me do it quickly and come back. Okay, so I changed from is to has. So is lengthy for this one, and for this one has uppercase, adds lowercase, has number, and has special character here. They are all false. So this one already passed. Here is the initial state of our password errors. So now what we can do, if you remember in our UL list, we have provided text danger for all. So now we can pass the condition. So I'm going to wrap this one all in the curly bracket because we are going to do type some JavaScript here. So what I'm going to say, now we can access to our object called password error, and dot whatever is the case, we're going to write for each. In our case, this one is lengthy. So is lengthy. If it is true, then we're going to, let me make big this. If it is true, that means if it is true, because initially they are false here. So that's always going to show the red. So if it is true, where is it here? If it is true, so that's ternary operator. We're going to say text success. This is another Bootstrap utility class that makes text color green. So if false, then text danger means red. So let's copy this part and put for all of the following ones, because the condition is same. And here now let's access to the different property. So in this case we have has upper, and we need has lower, it doesn't have a has upper. Okay, we need to has lower instead of both upper. That means for lowercase test. So let's go back here, and this one is number, has number, and this one has a special character. I just put in short form so we can understand that still, and let's save that. There should not be any different still. Okay, now what's gonna happen is every time we input the password, we're going to check those condition and update our state. So let's go to on change event. On change event here, like before we put if the password is if the name is password, that means when only we are typing this input field, then execute the code inside this block. So what we're gonna say is now we're going to change this one true or false all here. Now I'm just gonna copy paste, remove this equal sign. So and instead of dot sign and the false, I'm just gonna put equals to for now. Okay, so is lengthy means the what is the value y. Okay, so value holds the actual input data. So if value dot length is greater than 8, that means it will pass the value to true, otherwise it's passed this is lengthy false. Make sure we define this one const and provide to all of the others variables. So okay, let's define all. And okay, that's for the checking the length of the text. So to check the uppercase and lowercase, we're going to use the very simple and basic regex check. So the way we use is that, so the regex provides something called test method that we can test the condition against the value. So in our case, for the regex, you always write inside these two forward slashes, and inside there I'm gonna put square brackets, and I'm gonna say capital A to capital Z. If that's the condition, so test the value that we are typing in our field. So what it checks is that whether there is any uppercase or not. If there is uppercase, it will give us true, otherwise it will give us false. So we can do same thing for the lower as well, but we need to now pass the lowercase. So this is case sensitive, and for the number we can do the same thing with 0 to 9. And for the special character, we can pass those character inside this curly in the square brackets. I'm just gonna copy them and pass it to here. Let's separate them by comma and save that. Make sure we have, okay, everything is done here. Now let's, whatever value we have here, let's update to our state here. So like we did here, set new user, we're going to do exactly same for this password error as well. So the function to update the password is set password, and inside the curly bracket we need to first spread out all our initial value, which is password error, and after that we pass all of this property is lengthy, comma has upper, comma has lower, comma has number, and the has special character. Save that file, and now we are ready to test. So if we have, let's say okay, let's check in the state what we are typing, right? Let me open the state, not this state, the error state. Okay, they are all false here, right? Oh sorry, I wanted to open, not that. Okay, what we're typing, we see here the password field. So in our password in the password, let's type 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 5 6 7 8 9. Oops, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So we got up to 9 here. So because these are the number, our at least one number condition is passed, but we should have passed this minimum 8 character. Let's see why. Okay, there is a typo, that's length. You guys would have seen already. Okay, now let's do that again. 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. There you go. Now this is green as well, so that condition pass as well. So let's put one uppercase. I'm gonna say capital D. Okay, that's pass as well. Now let's put small d. Okay, now with lower is pass, upper pass, everything is pass. Now let's put any of the one character there. I'm gonna put hash. There you go. Now this one is pass. If you delete them, now they'll start turning back to red. There you go, guys. So that means our the password check condition is true too. So you can basically leverage this test and do the same thing with these all the input field as well. If you want to make something fancy, like so the red text under here saying this field is required or something, to make it looks more like a cool, you know. Okay, so that is done. So now another thing we need to do is, like, unless they are all green, let's disable this button. So I'm gonna say, okay, let's work on to making this button disable when the condition is not satisfied. So to do that, let's pass the disable here, and if you save that, the button should be disabled. Now you cannot click. Now this is disabled forever, so we need to check in the condition. So what we can say, we can pass true or false here. If true, that means it will disable the button, and if it is false, it does not disable the function. So what we can do is, based on this our condition we have in our error here, in our state, in this state, we can check if there is any error inside that object. If so, then we pass false, so true, otherwise we pass false. So what we can do, there is something called object dot values. This one will pass, if we pass this object here, this one will pass all the values that we have inside our object, this one. So now here we are getting false, all of them. So from there we can say dot, that comes as a array, and there we can do dot includes. If we run include method here and pass true or false, if there is any false, that means there is an error. So what we are doing, let me again tell you. So the object.values, if you pass the object, the object.value give us all the value that is inside this object as an array, and from array this is becoming array now, and we can use dot includes to test whether we have this value inside that array or not. So if we have false, that means there is an error, the button should be disabled. If it is all true, then button is not disabled. Okay, save that, and okay, now the page is loaded. So there is basically like as an initial state, there is all false and its button is disabled. Now we can start typing the password. As you can see, it will turn into the green, and you can see the password actually here as well. I'm just start typing randomly to make and satisfy everything, and now there you go. As long as everything is satisfied, become green, the button is able to submit. And if you check in our state, they are all true. Let's say if I make something false, this will be disable, and this one turns to red. Now there you go. So the form is ready, and our password confirmation check. Oh, we need to check one more. So we need to check the confirm password as well. Can't forget that. So let's go confirm password. Yeah, confirm password. Let's do is false as well. So what we're gonna do in our onHandle method here, like how we did for if there is a password condition. So let's run another if condition here. If it is the name is equals to confirm pass, I think, yeah, that's the one, isn't it? Confirm pass, yeah. If that's the case, then we check whether the password we have in our state, new user dot password, is equals to case sensitive, again the value this. Okay, so when we are receiving the confirm password, that's the value we are coming here from the target. We'll have the confirm password value here. So if based on that one, then we update our this state. So what we're gonna do, similarly how you did set password error here, we can go down here. So we don't need any of this one, but we only need the new variable we just decided, sorry, we just put here, this confirm password new property. So just remove everything there. Make sure you spread out the other object, otherwise it will overwrite the object. So now here, so if this one is true, it will give us true, otherwise it will give us false. So now we have true or false again here, and as the initial state we have false. Now if you save and check here, it should update unless there is some error. Okay, no problem. I'll just remove that. In our error state, now you can see confirm pass as well. So now in our button, let's put that. Okay, no need to put that. So even if we make everything green here now, it will not make it this enable, because our one condition is still false. To make it true, we need to make sure we have the same password exactly in our confirm password as well. So I don't know what I typed, so I'm just going to copy everything and paste here. See, as long as we have confirm password, so now button is disabled, everything is true. There you go. We can put that condition here as well somewhere. I wanted to show you that cool stuff. So under the confirm password here, what I'm gonna do is open form.text inside here, new form error. If that's the case, and dot confirm pass, if this is true, what we can do, I can simply say, let's say dot text text danger, and pass the, say, actually we can pass the AND operator here. If password is not, we need to do not, because if password is false, so confirm password is false, then show that error. So you can see this password does not match here. I'm gonna put margin button 3. There you go. So password doesn't match. So let's put 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, A capital, A lower, and the hash. So let me copy that and put it there. There you go. The password doesn't match, is not there anymore, and everything looks fine. So great, our form is ready, guys. There you go. Now you can use this skill to make any big form, any small form you can make fancy, so the error or whatever you like to do. So there's one thing we need to work more though. So now when we submit the form, it doesn't go anywhere, it just reloads the data. It's because we haven't handled the unsubmit button. So to handle the unsubmit button, we need to go to our form here, form. Okay, we type here on submit. So this is the native event occurs when you click on the form submit. So we're gonna call, we haven't created this function yet, let's create that and set that here. I'm gonna go to right on the top where the console is. We don't need that now, so I'm gonna say const on handle on submit. We're gonna get event. So what I'm gonna do, e.prevent default. So by providing this, what happens whenever you submit the form, it doesn't, seriously I have to type this password every time now. I had this myself. Okay, and go there. I'm just gonna copy that and then put every time we need. Okay, now if we submit, the form doesn't reload anymore, but it triggers the action here. So here what I can do is say console.log, and if we save the file and then go to our console, now let me clear the console, and I cannot submit the data, so we need to start filling up all the things. This is the password I'm gonna type, so I have in my clipboard so that I don't have to type again and again. Now if I clear the console and submit, there you go, we have the data in our on form submit action. Let me show you. These are the, okay, so these are the data, our form data. Okay, now we have created the form, we have forced user to put the strong password, and now when we submit the form, now we can get the data from the state. So creating form in our React is done. Let's quickly check how it looks in the bigger screen. I want to close that, and let's go to the beginning, and when you go to the registration, everything is there. There's one thing we should probably put. If you have already account, we redirect to the login page. Let's do that and finish up with the form. Let's go at the bottom of this form and create another row, and inside the row create another call, and let's say I'll have an account, and I'm gonna say login now. Let's provide the a tag, and this one goes to the root of the URL, which is entry page where the login form is, and we're gonna say login now. Save that, and I'm gonna put class name just to put some the padding on the top and bottom. I'll probably just put full, and yep. What else we need? Let's see how it looks here. Okay, they are touching each other again. We need to provide some space like so, and there you go. When we click, go to the login page. When we click, go to the registered page. There you go, guys. Now your registration form is ready. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna push this code to Git Repo straight away so that you guys can see the code as well. So Git, and the code is ready by now. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked the tutorial. If you did, then please give me a thumbs up. Okay, in the next tutorial, we are going to hook this application, the user account form, with our backend API so that we can send this form to our backend API and to create the user account. And then after a user account is created, we will send the email with the confirmation link where user have to click that link to active their account before they can log into their account. And we are going to manage our state, basically the state of the network status. We are going to handle that by using the Redux toolkit, and then we will display the confirmation message on the form. Alright guys, so if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, then please do, and turn on all the notifications so that you can receive that tutorial. So till then, code every day. If you have any issue, join me in the Discord or write in the comment section. I'll answer you as soon as possible, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.